Hey book besties, welcome or welcome back to the channel. My name is Ashley. I go by Little Cozy Reader, and I am so glad you're here. On today's episode of Bookmas, we are going to be talking about where I find books for cheap. So this is one of the things that I am always hearing about is books are getting more expensive, and maybe you're not a physical copy person, you prefer audio or digital books. So these are going to be some resources that I use to get either audiobooks or ebooks for free and very cheap. So the first thing that I want to bring up, which should be at the top of everyone's priority list if you have not already done so and you are looking for free and or cheap books, is to get a library card. This is absolutely something that should be uplifted and spoken about more in the bookish community, is to take advantage of your local library system. Now, if you are, for example, a romance reader or even a dark romance reader, it used to be next to impossible to find these books at local libraries. They just didn't carry those sorts of books in their catalog because they catered more to families and other books that were more popular, right? So a lot of the times in local libraries, they would not have your popular romance books, especially going towards your dark romance, taboo romance, like those what we would consider spicier books. But because of the popularity of BookTok and BookTube and Bookstagram lately, libraries have been carrying these books with more and more frequency. And I'm actually going to show you a way that you can request these books be bought by the library so that you could have access to them as well. There's no guarantee that it will work, but typically, if a library gets enough requests, that will help them know to purchase that because there is a need for that in their market. So, along with going to your library to get physical copies of books, you can also download an app like Libby. And Libby is an app that connects with your library card, so you can load your library card information on here and you'll have access to your library's digital catalog. So they have audiobooks, ebooks, magazines, graphic novels, all of these sorts of things are available on Libby. And you can get these files in multiple formats, so you don't even necessarily need to have a Kindle or a different kind of e-reader in order to read these. You can get the Libby app on your phone. You can get the Libby app if you have an iPad. You can get the Libby app pretty much on any device, and it's on a web browser so that you can have access to different types of files depending on how you would prefer to read the book. So this is absolutely my number one source, especially for audiobooks, to get them for free, because my Ohio library system, where I live in central Ohio, has a very widely connected library network. So my library card actually works in conjunction with all of the local libraries that sort of surround the city that I'm in. And so I have access to not only one library network, but I actually have access to about a dozen different library networks that are all connected. So that's one thing to consider when you're looking into your library card, is to see what other library systems are connected. That way you might be able to access even more content on top of what your local library has. There are also, I will just say as a caveat, some libraries across the country that will give you a free library card even if you don't live in that area. I am saying that with an important asterisk because I have not figured out which libraries those are, and I have not been able to get them. I think that gained so much popularity that some of them actually had to put the kibosh on that. So if you know of any, feel free to drop them in the comments. But I have not had success in that realm of things. But this is a great way to get access to books. And I'll show you right here. I'll take a screenshot of a book. If you're in your Libby account, when you go in and you see a book that your library does not have access to, you can hit this button right here and it will activate a tag to show your library that you're interested in them purchasing this book for their catalog. And then that will show a notification in your Libby account if the library does purchase that book. That way, if you want to go in and place a hold, or borrow the book, you have the option to do that. So Libby is a fantastic resource. You'll hear a lot of creators bring it up. It is an absolutely wonderful app and my primary tool for reading. I probably have, I think my maximum holds is like 30 between the two library cards that I have loaded, and I have my holds maxed out at all times. I typically have about 10 books sitting in my library queue at all times, because I typically can get through an audiobook a day or in 2 days maybe, depending on how much time I have to read. So I absolutely love Libby. It has been a game changer for me, and if I were to calculate how much money I have saved by reading my audiobooks on Libby, it would be astronomical. So 100% recommend checking out your free library system near you, getting the Libby app, and seeing what you can explore from there. Another app that is very similar to Libby is called Hoopla. I just downloaded this app for the first time like last month and was on there. I personally have noticed in my area that this does not have as wide of a range of audiobooks in particular, but they do have a lot of other content that Libby does not have. So this is going to have things like TV shows and movies and that sort of digital content, whereas Libby is just focused on books and those sorts of things. So Hoopla is another option that you can use that's also tied to your library account. And that can get you some other content beyond just books. The next thing, which is again more popular and well-known, is a Kindle Unlimited subscription. So Kindle Unlimited is a program that is run through Amazon, and it is a monthly subscription service that gets you access to their unlimited catalog of books for your Kindle or your e-reader. Now, another thing with this is that you don't have to have a Kindle device in order to have a Kindle Unlimited account. You just need to have an Amazon account in order to have a Kindle Unlimited account. So, Kindle Unlimited, whatever the flat rate is per month, I think right now it's sitting at like $12.95, $13.95, whatever. You pay that flat fee per month, and then you can read as many books as you'd like within the Kindle Unlimited library. Caveats to that: one, you can only have so many books checked out of Kindle Unlimited at a time. Very similar to a library. You can only have so many books checked out at once. So once you finish a book, you can return it to the Kindle Unlimited library and then be able to check out more. I have had some people say, like, oh, I've maxed out. I can't read any more Kindle books. Like, will it reset at the end of the month or something? And it keeps going. It doesn't reset at the end of the month. It's just whatever you have checked out. I think it's 20, maybe 15, something like that. You can only have so many KU books checked out at a time, so you do occasionally have to return them to Kindle Unlimited if you've hit your max. The other thing is that it is the season of discounts. Kindle Unlimited is always running specials on getting a month for free, get 3 months for free, pay 99 cents for the first 3 months. Like, they are always running some sort of special for new members. So I highly recommend, if you do want to sign up for Kindle Unlimited, oftentimes get at least a month for free or get like multiple months for 99 cents, something like that. So highly, highly recommend. This is a great way to get access to books by indie authors. A lot of times Kindle Unlimited is their best way to get their books in front of the most people. So Kindle Unlimited is great to find indie authors. It will occasionally have your more popular books. They do rotate out their library. So sometimes books will be on Kindle Unlimited and then they will leave Kindle Unlimited if they get like a trad publishing deal. Sometimes books will join Kindle Unlimited if an author decides that that makes sense for them to put their books on Kindle Unlimited. But some very, very popular authors are on Kindle Unlimited, have their entire collections on Kindle Unlimited. Book besties, it is a new day, same video. I am so sorry for the abrupt cut, but my SD card got full and then life happened. So it is indeed the next day. We're just going to ignore that and move on, okay? We got a little Christmas shirt. The vibes are still here. We're still here. We're still talking about good stuff. Anyways, as I left off, on Kindle Unlimited, there are some very popular authors like Lucy Score and Sophie Lark, and some other really popular authors across other genres as well, who have their entire catalogs on Kindle Unlimited. So it's a great way to be able to get some of those really popular books as well. It's just not always a guarantee as the books are more popular. So Kindle Unlimited is a fantastic resource as well. Again, you're paying that flat fee, which is really less than the cost of one book. So realistically, if you're reading at least one book a month off of Kindle Unlimited, it's paying for itself. So highly recommend Kindle Unlimited as well. And again, you don't have to have an e-reader. You could just download the Kindle app and be able to access that on any device. Another opportunity that you have in order to access books for free and for cheap is to get on PR lists. And I say that as somebody who is not successfully on any PR lists, but it is a great opportunity to put yourself out there, to try and connect with different authors and publishers, to get some of their work for free in exchange for reviews. So if you are a person who is consistently reviewing books, whether that be on Goodreads or on a social media account or something like that, you could potentially leverage reviews for free content, essentially. So that's one of the ways that you can do that. And there are a number of major PR companies that will work with creators to do that exchange, essentially, to give free copies of books, whether that be art copies. Sometimes if a book is being re-released, they will do another round of giveaways, essentially, to have more people have eyes on that material and then get those reviews in exchange. So some of the bigger agencies that I am aware of and I am on their mailing lists for would be Valentine PR, Literary Yours, Flying Pig PR, Good Girls PR. So these are all some different companies that you could type in your search bar and get on their mailing lists, and they give you weekly, if not more often than that, opportunities where you can sign up to be an ARC reader for books or other opportunities that they might have. Now, I will say that this is something I'm relatively new to, and I haven't been super successful in terms of getting like physical copies of books or even necessarily getting on these ARC lists, because a lot of times they are pretty short. But what I have been able to do is participate in different other opportunities that they have, things like social media blitzes and release blasts and different things like that, where essentially it's like a practice run for engaging in your social media, promoting different books and authors, and then they're able to see that you are engaging, you are posting, you are helping support that book and that author, and then you're more likely to get books in the future potentially. So that's another option. It is definitely one that is not guaranteed, but it is a really great way. If you do have a super active social media presence, like I highly recommend that, because you can leverage that oftentimes and stand out as somebody who might be a good candidate for ARC reading. And they have that for every genre. So highly recommend checking out different PR firms and like getting on their mailing lists as a way to potentially get some free books as well. On a similar note to that, we also have author newsletters. So just about every author out there has some form of communication with their readers other than social media. So most authors have some sort of email newsletter that goes out every so often. And a lot of times by being on authors' newsletters, not only do you have the opportunities to know if and when they are posting sales on their content, if they are looking for ARC readers or beta readers, or if they have connections with other author friends and they're highlighting their books as well. But a lot of times, authors will have a section at the end of their newsletters to highlight free books. So this is an opportunity where you can download some books for free that maybe didn't cross your radar other than that. And that's a way that I've gotten a ton of books, is just by being on an author's newsletter and going into that section that they have highlighted at the end of their newsletter to get books for free or 99 cents or something like that. And then also, like I said, that will allow you to know too, a lot of authors will post in their newsletters if they're looking for ARC readers or beta readers, or if they're opening up their lists for those kind of things, and get you connected in that space as well. And the last thing that I wanted to talk about in the space of ARC reading is a website called Booksprout. So Booksprout is a website that I found. It is similar to NetGalley. So I'm not speaking a ton on NetGalley in this video because that is a website that I actually don't use. I think I've maybe gotten one ARC off of NetGalley before. I think NetGalley is highly, highly saturated. So especially for your really popular books, unless you have a massive NetGalley history, like you're not getting those ARCs. That's just how their system works. So NetGalley takes a lot of work to build up a profile to where you can really get your top pick of books. And so Booksprout is an alternative that I have found. Now, do they have the most popular of popular releases? No. A lot of times they are working with small independent authors. These are books that you would typically see on like a KU or for pretty cheap on Kindle, Amazon, library, whatever. However, being able to be on Booksprout, I have had the opportunity. That is actually how I found my favorite series of all time, the Make Game series by Kay Lorraine and Meg Ann. I got a copy of the first book from Booksprout and have since read every book in the first two series. I read as advanced copies from Booksprout. I highly recommend. I'll throw up a couple of screenshots here of some of the parts of Booksprout, but essentially you make and create an account, and then you can filter by genre. You can filter by the amount of time that you have with regards to like how quickly you would need to read the book and post a review. You can filter by different keywords, tropes. There's so many different things that you can filter by to find the books that suit you best. You can search by authors. You can actually scroll through the list of authors that they have connected to their page. And this is just a fantastic way to be able to find books for free in exchange for reviews. Now, almost every book that you're going to review on Booksprout is going to need an Amazon review. 99% of the time, that is going to be your mandatory review. And then you have the option to review on a lot of other sites as well. So you could review on Goodreads, you could review on Storygraph, you could review on Fable, you could review on Kobo, you could review on Apple Books, Barnes & Noble. There's a lot of different options that they have. And each book, depending on what you get, will show you mandatory reviews versus optional reviews. And so you essentially, when you're finished with the book, you hit I'm finished, you do your little rating, you write your little blurb, and then it allows you to copy and paste that onto your different review sites. And then you link the URLs to your reviews in order to close that sort of like process in Booksprout. I would say occasionally the only thing to watch out for, but this happens in pretty much any space where you are reading an advanced copy of a book, is you're always going to run into the editing piece of things sometimes, where you get a book that's not finalized in editing, or you get grammatical errors or spelling mistakes or formatting issues. So just be cognizant of that, but that has never really bothered me as a reader. So highly, highly recommend Booksprout as an option as well in order to get free books just in exchange for reviews. So that is it for today's video, friends. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you got a lot of inspiration as places you can look for free and cheap books to try and expand your horizons in 2025. If you have any other ideas or places to look for free and cheap books, please feel free to drop them in the comments. Just remember, we are keeping things above board, right? We are not stealing authors' work. We are not promoting AI on this channel. So just keep it above board. But any other opportunities that you know of to get books for free and for cheap in regards to that, please feel free to drop those below. And I hope you all have a wonderful day. It is crazy that we are already approaching the last day of Bookmas. I simply cannot believe that I have been able to post every single day so far, and I cannot wait to see you all tomorrow for the last day. If you liked this video, give it a big thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so I don't miss you in the last episode of Bookmas. Bye!